Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Under. Wait, what?
Oh, good. We're doing this, are we? Okay, good. What, Liam?
So with you, what was that?
With me, Ellie Kempster.
So that's different.
Yep.
What's going on there then?
What is this weird act you're doing, listeners?
Yeah, we've got some news.
Well, you haven't.
Well,
fuck off.
The podcast, the we of the podcast.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're not stealing my thunder.
No, you've got some news.
I'm transgender.
What does that mean?
Okay. Why are we doing it in this weird? Why are you like?
No, I'm kind of like.
It sounds like an educational video.
I'm filling in the role of the listener. I'm sort of verbalising what they might be thinking.
Oh God, yeah. I'm sure they're all sitting there going, "Oh, that's interesting. What is that?"
Yeah, for those at the back of the class that maybe are thinking that.
Yeah, it basically means that whilst when I was born, a doctor said, "Oh look, that's a boy."
Like, so you come out of your mother probably crying.
And I'm not blaming the doctor. It's
Yeah, so the doctor, they give you a little spank, don't they, when you come out?
To figure out if you're a boy or a girl.
No, they just do that regardless. I don't
think they spank you and go, oh.
Yeah, no, they spank you, and depending on how you react, if you cry more, they go, oh, this is a girl.
That can't be true, because they'd have figured it out a lot earlier.
That's true. So basically the doctor looked at your genitalia.
Yeah, and went, that's a boy.
Made an assumption.
Yeah, a fair one. A lot, 99% of the time he's probably right.
Yeah, it was a well-educated guess. But then you grew up and you went, actually, doctor.
Yeah, you got that one fucking wrong, didn't you, mate?
And now, so
I'm fixing that shit.
Yeah, so you were a boy, but now you're a girl.
Let's not get too into, I could, yeah, sure. That's the layman's way of thinking about it, Liam.
Yeah. But
that's the easy way of thinking. You've picked easy mode.
Yeah, what's the more complicated way?
Well, I've always been a girl, just we didn't realise.
Okay, that also makes sense.
Nothing, yeah, because the way I've tried to sort of explain it to people that I think makes the most sense to me, is imagine that there's a load of switches inside you, right?
Okay.
And if they're all down, you're a boy, and if they're all up, you're a girl.
What if they're just broken?
Or yours are broken. You get a Liam.
Okay, cool.
So imagine that one of my switches was the wrong way, so that was the boy switch, and that made my body go, cool, we got the boy switch, let's do this.
Let's make a penis.
Exactly. Yeah. And then all the other switches were switched to the girl mode, so my brain and all that stuff grew up the right way, but because the one switch that was the physical part, which is unfortunately the most obvious part, was switched to boy mode, it makes it really difficult to figure that out.
Okay. But everyone starts as a girl, don't they? And then...
you start
in the womb.
I mean, I think you start technically. I don't think you start as a girl, do you? You start as like genderless, maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know. It's all. I don't fucking know, Liam. I'm not a scientist.
No, I've written a load of questions, but I'm also aware that you've probably been asked quite a few questions about this.
Oh, tons, Liam. Let
revelation.
me just check this not pre-prepared list.
Yeah, we haven't discussed this beforehand. These questions have not been pre-approved.
No, none of this is planned. I've shocked Liam to the core.
Yeah, no,
you're taking it very well.
Yeah, well, it's the only way to react, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast for nearly 2 years now. The next episode is our 2-year anniversary, and we're still learning new things about each other.
That's true.
So that's good, if anything.
Yeah.
What's like some of the obvious questions that you've been asked?
Does this mean you want guys to bone you? No.
See, I'm a bit confused by that because...
Go on.
Well, your gender, does that affect... How much does that affect your, like, desire to have things inside you? Like male penises?
Sorry. I don't know what you're trying to say. Are you questioning whether... I mean... You're getting into some really murky waters here, Liam. Are you now? Are we talking about transgender people, or are we just going down? What are gay people?
No. So what I'm saying is, right? Yes. You realizing that you're the wrong gender.
Yeah.
How does that affect your sexuality? Or like, surely it doesn't, right? But I don't know.
Got you. No. So it doesn't theoretically, and there's a big debate on whether going on hormones, which we'll talk about in a bit, Liam.
Okay. I'm excited.
There's a debate about whether that actually impacts it or not. And it's all very confusing is the answer. And to be fair, the other answer that I give people to this sort of question is I go, let's be honest, if I do figure out, if I sort of, a year down the line go, actually, I do want a penis inside of me.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the biggest shocking news that I've done. I think if at that point someone's like, whoa, this is too much, I'll turn around and be like, really? You should have jumped off this train a long time ago.
Yeah. But currently, you're still attracted to females, but now you're gay.
Why you Yeah, I'm attracted to women.
Yeah.
Which technically makes me gay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not technically, it does make me gay.
Yeah, exactly. But so the hormone replacement therapy stuff, that can affect your sexuality, can it?
Apparently, there's like a big debate on whether it actually does or whether people have just been repressing it as part of the...
Oh, right, so it's kind of like... Yeah, so it's like, a 2-for-1 with some people where they're like...
Yeah, I think there are people that, immediately after realising are suddenly like, oh, good lord, I also want penises now.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that once they're on the hormones are like, oh, I don't really find women attractive anymore.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
It's, and to be fair, I'm saying this, I realise that I'm not being super supportive here because I'm saying it all like about penises, but obviously there are trans men as well.
Yeah. But we only know one side of this coin at the moment, don't we?
Yeah.
Have you got any other questions you've been asked a lot?
I don't know why I put my phone down because I knew this was happening, so I don't know why I just closed that. Number 2, Liam. Not on a list. I've not got a list. It's all just...
This is just freestyling this.
Freestyle, just off the top of my head. Do we need to start calling you she/her? Yes.
Yes, because you're now a woman. Well, you've always been a woman, but now we also all know that you're a woman.
You're catching up, Liam.
See? I'm just assuming the role of the listener here.
Exactly. Perfect, mate. I mean, this question's irrelevant now, but what about the name Jack? Are you going to call yourself Jack or Jackie or Jacqueline? No, it's Ellie.
It's Ellie.
That was obvious.
It annoys me, though.
Go on, why?
You can pick, like, any name, right?
Yeah, there's not, like, a fucking book. We don't, like, assign them. When you come out, they don't go, right, you're a Jocelyn.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, why would you pick the name Ellie, which is just one letter away from being a palindrome? Why would you not just have a palindrome name like Elle or Hannah?
Oh, got you. That's what annoys you.
It's so close.
Well, now that you've told me that, I'm even more happy with it.
I don't like it.
That's a shame.
I prefer Elle, to be honest, if I got to choose your name.
You don't?
Yeah. How did you pick the name Ellie?
I don't really know.
Alright, well, I'll tick that one off my list.
It's just a name that I'd been using on stuff when I made, like, female characters in games.
Yeah.
It was just a name that's always been knocking around in there, and then I was like, I like it, it's a good name.
Nothing to do with Ellie Kemper?
Nope.
Who is an actress from The Office and the other thing.
Yeah, I know who she is.
The Unbreakable Kimmy something? Schmidt.
Yep, I really like her, she's a good actress. No, I didn't realise how close my name was to hers until after you pointed it out.
Okay, well, you don't really know actors and actresses, do you?
I do, I actually do know her. She's
but you know.
She's good.
Yeah, alright, next question that's not on your list.
Does this mean you're going to suddenly be into rom-coms, getting makeovers, and gossiping?
You've always been into rom-coms.
Liam, the answer I've written to this is no, I'll still be me, just a happier version of me. I'm still going to be weirdly into anime, The Bachelor, and video games, and rom-coms, so that was a bad example.
Yeah, but what about makeup and stuff?
What about them?
Well, no, because I guess, right, up until a certain point, up until your realisation, it probably wasn't something that you really considered a lot. Now, is that a new consideration for you?
Let me tell you, Liam, right? Yeah. This is coming from someone who has had a couple of sort of lessons from friends on how this works. I always thought it was really simple, right? Like, I know that the complex stuff would be complex. I was like, oh yeah, obviously, when they're going for a full face of makeup, obviously it's going to take a lot of work.
Like contouring and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't even touch on that, right?
Yeah.
On the basics, Liam, when dudes, and I am guilty of having thought like this, being like, oh, I much prefer girls when they've got, not much makeup on. Yeah. They still have you have to put a lot of makeup on.
Right.
I think it's all a lie, mate. I think no one realises.
Yeah, but so this is what I'm saying. Like, are you were saying that you're always going to be into the stuff you were into, but now there could be new interests as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously I'm still going to grow as a person. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be like into makeup is
You
in
could,
like...
you could become like a makeup guru on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I don't think I'm going to be the next Zoella.
Well, she's in trouble lately, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
Did you not know about this?
No.
She did an advent calendar.
Okay.
That she's selling through Boots, charging 50 quid for it.
Right.
And someone did like some research into it and found out that you could basically make all of the components that go into it, and you get just tat out of it, like a fluffy key ring, absolute nonsense basically. They figured out that you could basically make it, buy all of the things separately for something like £22, and that's not even factoring in the fact that she would have bought all this stuff wholesale, so it would have been even cheaper for her.
Yeah.
And there's like a huge backlash over how she's basically ripping off her fans, because the other thing is, obviously, you're a fan of hers, you have an advent calendar, you don't know what you're going to get each day.
Yeah, that's dodgy.
Yeah, anyway, this is a sidetrack. On to the main event, which is you.
Yep.
Stealing all of the thunder in this episode.
Hell yeah.
There's a theory going around that you're now going to become the fan favourite.
Who is putting forward that theory?
Just regular
Is it you?
listeners.
Is it just you being paranoid?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to sympathise and be like, oh, we didn't like Jack, but Ellie is great.
Well, I'm not going to change that much. I'm still a moody bitch, so...
Yeah. Although now we can call you bitch, which we never really did before.
Yeah, that's good. It's opened up a whole new range of insults.
Yes. Oh, it has. Any other questions?
So, like, what does any of this even mean? What's going to happen?
We should have probably started with that one.
Probably. I've sort of done the what does this even mean?
Yeah, it means you're now a she/her.
Yep. The what's going to happen is I've already started hormones. I'm on that. I've been on that shit for like a month and a half.
How's that going?
It's good.
What does it entail?
So basically, I take 2 types of medication. One of them lowers the testosterone in your body.
But is it like pills or injections?
I've got a pill and a patch.
Okay.
And that one of them lowers the testosterone, one of them raises estrogen.
Yep.
So that, and that'll just make some shit start changing then.
What does it change?
Skin gets smoother. Fat redistributes to different areas.
So that means you get
grow.
boobs. Yeah.
No, that's the second step.
Oh.
Boobs grow. Third step.
What about
boobs grow?
Lack of hair?
Can be a lot, but more likely just a small amount.
What, boobs?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like facial hair?
That doesn't change. You have to. Well, it will grow slower, but you
Okay.
have to get hair removal done on it.
Okay.
Which I've done. I've sort of started, but I need to properly start.
What does that mean?
But all this stuff is very expensive.
Yeah. What? So is that it with the hormone replacement stuff? That's all it does.
Well, no, it doesn't. There's a lot of other stuff. I mean, if you're interested, go look it up, listeners.
Does it change the way you think? Because I know, like, when you go through school and stuff, right? I remember they always used to do reports of like, oh, girls are at this kind of mental age, at this physical age, and boys like this, or they'll be like, oh, girls do better in exams than boys, or some sort of weird like.
Yeah, but that's all just that's all statistics, isn't it? Because there's crossover there. It's not like.
So it doesn't change the way you think.
I don't think it will. I don't know. Maybe. No, it won't. I'm not going to be a different person.
You're not just going to suddenly get distracted by shiny things.
I was always distracted by shiny things.
Fair enough.
I call myself the magpie of gaming, Liam.
Yeah, but I meant like shiny things like jewellery.
Actual shiny things. Well,
Yeah.
like an actual magpie.
Yeah, like suddenly you'll be walking down the high street and there'll be a shop with diamonds in the window, and suddenly you're like, oh.
But Liam,
get some new earrings.
What if I've always been distracted by that stuff, but I was aware that it would make me seem weird?
Well, no, because I've never seen you wear jewellery, and you can wear male jewellery.
Yeah, but then you're wearing male jewellery.
Yeah.
So think about if you were, right, getting a necklace. Let's say you were into a necklace, right? Because I used to wear a chain.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, Liam.
Yeah, when it was cool.
Or the early noughties, even.
And you had like the baggy jeans, I imagine.
Yep, baggy jeans, hoodie, and my chain necklace.
Did you have a skateboard?
I owned a skateboard. I couldn't skate.
Really?
Yeah, I never learned to skate. It scared me.
Makes sense.
Didn't want to fall off and get hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so that's right. So say you've got that. You're like, I'm going to wear a necklace. And then you go to a store and you've got the choice, Liam, of a chain necklace and a sparkly, shiny diamond one, right?
Yeah.
You'd probably pick the chain one.
Yeah.
Right? So I would have been interested in the diamond one, but then there's a whole social thing of being like, well, boys aren't allowed to wear that, which is ridiculous because everyone should be allowed to wear whatever the fuck they want. We shouldn't even give a shit about any of the whatever gender stuff. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting question, Liam. You know.
Okay.
I sort of derailed myself there and got confused.
Yeah. So after like you breaking this huge news about 15 minutes ago, I wrote down some questions.
Oh yeah. You've definitely not known for months.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like Kat's gonna be shook.
Oh God, yeah. How are you going to break it to her?
Not.
Just let her listen to this.
No, I'm just gonna wait until you show up in like a dress and diamond earrings and a shiny necklace, and then just say, "Oh yeah, I meant to tell you."
Nice, good.
So I have some actual questions.
Okay.
I've asked you some of them already, so I'm just ticking those off. Have I asked you like what are the stages of transitioning?
Well, it depends what you mean. Yeah, I mean, there's not really stages. It's sort of like hormones and going into full time when you've just fully swapped.
Yeah, but I mean, So there's definitely stages with like So there's the whole like you coming out stage, which is what we're currently doing now. Yeah, but that sort of
all just blurs together. No, I'm past the coming out stage.
No, I mean we're literally doing it now on the podcast for the listeners.
Well, yeah, no, for the listeners are just discovering it, but I've been out to everyone for quite a while, Liam. I'm going to drop the illusion here.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So that's like a stage, if you will.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So this is what I mean, right? The stages then blur together because surely if there was a logical like timeline of it, it would be coming out hormones.
Yeah.
Full time.
What does full time mean?
Just living. So I still wear sort of boyish clothes to work and stuff. So I'm not living, and at work I'm still Jack.
Okay, but work are aware.
My boss is aware.
Okay.
But also, if work do find out, they can't do anything about it, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and they might listen to this.
That would be a good way for them to find out.
It would. So then it's full time, like the last kind of, if we're going to say stages.
No, but there's not stages. Stop saying stages. That's what I'm saying to you. Is there aren't stages?
Okay, steps.
No, because it's not that simple. You go through it. You're going on a process. It's a whole long process.
Yeah, there we go. And processes are broken down into.
No, there aren't steps.
Right,
there are things you do within it, but they're not necessarily like someone could start hormones without coming out.
Okay, but there's also if we are to just very, very quickly, stages do blur together, blah blah blah. But let's break it down into you've got the coming out, the hormone stuff, like you said, the full time stuff, right?
Yeah.
What about surgery?
Surgery's got nothing to do with it.
No,
because you don't have to have the surgery.
Is it something that you
got nothing to do with the listeners? No offense, listeners. I love you all. You're all great, but it's got shit all to do with you.
So if you get a boob job, we can't talk about it.
Oh no, because I'll probably talk about that because that'd be fairly obvious. And and if I get the surgery, I might end up talking about it. But
when we say surgery, we're talking about like, is it an inversion?
There's different methods.
Is there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You learn something new every day.
Next question. What was it like coming out to your family?
It's fine. I mean, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I mean, so right, let's just backtrack a little bit here. If anyone's listening to this who might be kind of in a similar situation to where you were, say, maybe a year ago,
yeah,
is there an answer that would maybe help them that you could give beyond fine?
Well, it depends. You've got, I think it's better to come out because
you don't want to live a lie.
Yeah, and you can do... I mean, you're not living a lie. I think all that stuff is problematic.
Yeah.
The idea of living a lie, like... It's like the whole idea of... Like, people call your old name your dead name and stuff, which I get. I get why people call it that. But... And people talk about, mourning the loss of, like, a son and gaining a daughter and all that. And I'm like, well, no, you're still the same person. I think people take a while to realise that. Like,
Jack hasn't died, just evolved like a Pokemon.
Exactly. I turned from Jack. I got to level 26...
You got to level 7. You were probably a Caterpie. Now you're a Metapod. Which is complimentary because it means you've got a Butterfree coming.
Thanks, Liam.
That's alright.
You're like a Venonat.
That's mean.
Why? You turn into Venomoth?
Still mean. I don't like moths.
Oh, I don't like moths either.
There we go then. But yeah, so it's more of an evolution.
Yeah.
Than a death.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's all about your situation, right? If someone's out there and they're like, I know that if I come out to my parents, like, because for me, I knew my parents would be accepting.
Yeah.
I knew they wouldn't throw me out.
Yeah.
If you are in a situation where you are, like, say you're at high school and you're not self-supporting yet, and you live at home, and you know your parents will throw you out if you come out, it's up to you to make the call on whether you can, you might be able to find someone that you can go and live with or something.
Yeah.
But if not, Don't just do it because people are saying you have to, because you don't. You can do all this when you want. It's all up to you. You know, be safe is the important thing. Don't come out if you're going to get thrown out on the streets.
Yeah.
But also, don't let that stop you from trying to transition still.
Yeah. I think that's good advice.
Thank you.
When did you realise?
I properly realised last Christmas.
Okay, so was there like a specific thing? Was there like a straw that broke the camel's back? Or like, what was that realisation process like?
So me and my sister watched a documentary, I can't remember what one, about transgender kids. I think it was on like Channel 4 or something.
Okay.
Which is an English TV channel for all you Americans. And
or if they're in other countries.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, we watched that, and afterwards, I was like, or during, I was like, oh, some of the shit these kids are saying is how I definitely feel. So
is there any examples you can remember?
Not specifically. I think it was just stuff like them being like, oh, you know, I've always felt... I don't know, it's hard to explain. Because the thing is, right, for someone who isn't trans, and the word for that is cis, it's not an offensive word. Some people on the internet think it is.
What does cis mean?
It's cisgender, which means you are born in the right body, you're the correct gender. It's literally not an insult. I don't know why some people think it's an insult. It is the same as transgender, just the opposite.
Okay.
It's just a word that describes that, your gender identity.
Yeah.
Right? So for a cis person, you cannot conceive of what it's like to be transgender.
Yeah.
So it is really difficult to explain what it feels like, because I also don't know what it's like to be cis.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like, this is the thing. So after watching that documentary and being like, oh shit, a lot of that stuff I feel like I connect with and I understand, I then went online and I was watching YouTube videos by a couple of trans YouTubers who were really good, and I was like, oh cool, I also understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh god, maybe I'm trans. So I spent about a month researching it and sort of trying to figure it out and like looking back on how I'd felt as a kid, and just bit by bit, like I spent ages being like, there's not obvious signs, because some people they talk about how, you know, oh, I looked back and as a kid I used to just wear dresses all the time and say to my mum, I'm going to be a mum, or vice versa if you're a trans guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have that particularly, but as I looked back on my past more and more, like more obvious things sort of were there. Like the main one that I remember and have used as like I felt like this since I can remember.
Yeah.
Is I remember being a kid and getting this weird little like wooden spindle thing, and one of my parents maybe, or a family friend saying, oh, if you put that under your pillow when you go to sleep, you'll be able to make a wish and you get a wish. And I was like, oh, awesome, cool. And I remember telling people that I was wishing that I could be Batman.
Right.
But in reality, I was wishing that I would wake up as a girl and no one would remember that I had been a boy.
Okay. At what age was this?
This is like, must be like, 8, maybe younger.
Yeah.
So like, it had always been there, and there was just, but I think part of it is, I think it's getting better now, but when we were kids, right, I can remember people being mean about transgender people.
Okay.
And like, so like the big one that I think a lot of people wouldn't realise, and I didn't realise, and I still like the film, but like realising I'm transgender and like looking back on it, I'm like, oh shit, that film is kind of problematic, is Ace Ventura, which is one of my favourite films. I love Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
But that whole thing called Is Einhorn, right? That's really fucking problematic. And that was like, that's not them being deliberately...
That's just the way it was.
But that's not okay. But, do you know what I mean? So like, there's like a layer of the 90s being like that.
I definitely
which made it really hard for me to go, oh, well, I'm transgender, because you're watching these big films being like, haha, look at the guy who's a girl.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think like in the last like 10, 20 years, there's been a much greater push for education and awareness of things like transgender, things like homosexuality. Those sort of things are a lot more accepted now than when we were kids, like, even, which would have been 20 years ago.
Yeah, and then fucking Trump got elected, didn't he? And that all went out the fucking window in America.
Yep.
But anyway,
we don't do politics.
I do.
No, you've always told me off when I try and make the show political.
Yeah, but that was before it turned out there was a dude who's in power in America who literally despises me.
Don't go to America.
I'm not going to. Fuck America. I love all you Americans, but your country is not okay with me.
No. Well, not the country, just, all of the people in charge.
The country as a political entity is not okay with me.
Yeah. So, like, Is it something that you've almost like, you were saying you had this thing when you was 8 years old? Was
Yeah.
it almost like subconsciously were you ignoring it, or did you almost like forget that? Like,
No, I've always had it.
yeah.
So like that's just an example from when I was 8. There's a lot more
So-
shit that
so-
I've done since then.
So was this documentary was like the catalyst for you?
Yeah, this was
realizing.
like, so basically the way it not feels, the way I've explained it to people is that watching that documentary and seeing someone literally just be transgender and people being like, yeah, that's like a medical thing that there is a solution to this problem, and that is transition. That was like me. That was like someone saying to me, it's okay to be that.
So if you hadn't have seen that documentary,
I would have still. So from what I've seen online, there's a lot of people that are like 40 and realizing.
yeah,
And from the sounds of it, it either builds up and builds up and builds up, and eventually you're just going to crack anyway,
yeah,
and suddenly be like, oh God, what have I done? Why have I waited so long?
yeah.
I mean, that's it. I don't think there's another option. I think that tends to be what happens. There might be
Fair.
people that suppress it their entire lives.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, it's not necessarily conducive for a healthy lifestyle, let's say.
No, because there's a lot of like, well, not a lot, but I guess there's certain kids that kind of just know.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think there's different not levels of it, but there's like,
There's a gradient.
I guess it's, again, if you go back to my not particularly great metaphor of the switches in the brain, right?
Yeah,
Maybe some of their physical switches were more flipped, and maybe some of the other switches in me that made my body grow. It's just all society, it's everything just combined. People in different situations get different chances and realise different things.
fair enough. So you said that you've started hormone replacement therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Since starting it, have you noticed any changes?
Yes. I'm more emotional.
You were already very emotional.
Exactly. That was the bit I was like, oh good lord, can I get more emotional? The answer is yes. I nearly cried on the train the other day, Liam. That was bad.
Is it the same sort of things that are triggering you, or were they different triggers for the
Yeah, no,
emotions?
it's all the same things, but it's now like more sensitive to it. So like,
Yeah.
before I'd have seen something sad in a TV show and been like, right, hold that shit together.
Now you're just like
I'm like
blubbering
on the verge
mess.
of tears.
Any others?
Nothing particularly major. I'm only a month and 2 weeks in,
Yeah.
so it's all minor stuff. I think body hair is starting to go a little bit finer. That's something that happens.
Have you already kind of? Is it still too early, or have you already like within yourself? Do you feel happier?
Oh, I definitely feel happier, and I've had
That's
people
good.
tell me that I seem more confident and happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm. Yeah.
What's one thing you wish people understood about your desire to transition?
That it's fine. I don't know why people have an issue with it.
But you said like so far no one really has had an issue with
They
it.
haven't, but I've seen, there's no one that I have told, which is a lot of my close friends and family who are all totally accepting. But there's a lot of stuff, like we were saying, America with the people in power.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Do you think
reading
it's
about
just because they don't know? Is it just ignorance?
Yeah, I don't know. I assume so. I guess so. But even then, it's such a weird attitude to me. But then, even before I realised I was trans, I was a very open person. Like, I've never understood why people have an issue with gay people or lesbians. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why anyone hates anyone. Like, to me, it's a lot better if we all just fucking leave everyone else alone and just let people do whatever. But, not whatever. Don't murder people. Jesus.
Yeah. Do whatever as long as it doesn't hurt someone else.
Yeah, that's. I think, have I said my rule on the show before? That my rule is do whatever you want, so long as you aren't hurting anyone.
Yeah. I think that's a good rule that a lot of people should have.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you only have to do whatever you want, you end up hurting other people, and then you're not helping. You're just being a dick.
Yeah.
If you add in the without hurting anyone else, then that sort of adds an element of morality to it, which is fine.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Women's clothing. That's the next one that's on my list. Have you tried that? Have you worn any? What was it like?
It's good.
What did you try?
I'm not going to particularly list it for you, Liam.
Was it like
lingerie?
lingerie?
I've got jeans.
Okay. Do they have like the word juicy on the rear?
Yeah, it says hot stuff.
Excellent. What about like bras? Is that something that you're going to have to figure out?
I mean, I will have to once the boob growth starts.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you don't have a lot of experience with those from either side of it.
Wow, thanks, Liam.
That's all right.
Move on.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying me, for example, I'm good at the undoing, not so much the doing back up.
How often are you having to do backup?
Never. That's what I mean.
Okay, I was going to. But then, how do you know you're bad at it? You might be good at it.
Never had to do it, and most things I've never had to do, I'm pretty bad at.
You should find out. You should say to Cat, let me put this bra back on you.
I think that might send her mixed messages.
Time to get the clothes off, and then see if I can put them back on successfully.
Let's time it. Make a game. I've only got one last question.
Go on.
This is a big one.
Have you saved your most offensive one for last?
Not the most offensive, but I think the one that the most people are wondering.
Okay.
When are you getting a pay cut?
Very good, Liam.
Thank you. I just wanted to, have a bit of time for that to sink in for the audience. The slow ones just catching up, because obviously women get paid less than men.
Yeah, very good. You've explained the joke. That's what they always say in comedy. Always explain the joke.
Always, because if people aren't laughing, it's because they don't understand it.
So just explain it until they do.
Yeah.
Got you.
But yeah, so that's basically what's been happening with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do for catching up with, but unless you're announcing that you've, I don't know, grown a second human out of your ass, I don't think you're going to beat me.
That hasn't happened, and yeah, that's not going to happen. Right, well, I'm Liam Underwood.
What have you been up to, Liam?
No, we're not at that stage yet. I'm Liam Underwood, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2.
Ooh.
But first, before all that, it's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam. Also, this is a side note to both you and our listeners. If I slip up with the name, sorry.
If you slip up with the name, in the editing, I'm gonna play an air horn very loudly over you.
Perfect. If any of our listeners have any questions for you, do you want them to email, tweet?
Email the show.
Cool. And then
at nerdornerd@gmail.com.
Yeah, and also if you want to send an email but you don't necessarily want it read out, let us know, and we'll
just
respect
put
that.
On the email, don't read this out loud.
Yeah. We won't do that.
How about that penis though? And I'll answer you.
I genuinely thought that it got cut off, and then you could keep it in a jar for Halloween.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, no, I've learnt that since, but that's what I thought.
They just chop it off,
and then they do remolding with what's left.
Oh, Jesus, Liam.
The stump.
Oh, yeah, all right, let's move on.
It was Halloween.
Oh, spooky.
So I decided, I had this brilliant idea, right, that in October, I was essentially going to watch 31 horror movies. I knew I was busy, so I knew I couldn't do one a day, but I wanted to try and do, throughout October, a total of 31.
Yeah, got you.
I did 25.
Oh, it's a little bit like the film list on the show, Liam. You're sort of just failing.
Sort of. Here's the other thing, though. I also had this goal in mind. So, since about 2013, well, even longer than that, I've had this book, which is called 101 Horror Movies You Must See Before You Die. Okay. And I thought I had about 28 still to go.
Oh, so were you going to try and do those?
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, you didn't do all 28, we know that, but did you get any of them?
I got some. So at the stage I'm currently at now, I have in my life seen all of the films in this 101 horror movies. But,
okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm also doing it on this website called Letterboxd that lets you log the movies you watch and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 left to log on there that I haven't watched since starting my Letterboxd account on January the 1st, 2013.
Which ones? Which films?
The Shining, which I'm saving till last, and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, so it's 2 good ones.
Yeah, which I've seen before.
Yeah.
I was just deliberately kind of saving them because I wanted to get some of the ones that I either hadn't seen or some of the subtitle ones. I was trying to get those out of the way.
Is Rec on there? Or was it before Rec?
I think this book came out before Rec really kind of got attention.
Fair enough.
Audition was on there, which was one of the more recent ones I've done.
I haven't seen that one, but you've told me to watch it before.
Yeah, it's alright.
Oh, really? I thought you told me to watch it before.
Yeah, you should watch it, but it's only alright.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've been doing that. Basically, I didn't get anywhere near done, so we're on the 16th of November when we're recording this, and we are recording this very late. Sorry about that.
Super late.
But, Ellie's been going through some stuff, and that's why it's so late.
I mean, it's just work. You made it sound like it was tied into the transgender thing. It's not.
No. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that done in the next week or so.
Cool.
And that'll just be a nice little personal achievement. It means I can die.
Well, don't do that.
Well, no, because it's 101 horror movies you must see before you die. So once I've seen them all, ready.
Can you imagine how pissed you'd be if you died before seeing the last? Yeah.
I know. Well, I was saying this to Kat, and she was like, "Well, isn't there a book that's 1,001 movies to see before you die?" And there is, but that's excessive, isn't it?
Why did Kat tell you that? Because I feel like that's the kind of thing that's going to gnaw at your mind. Like now you're being all flippant, like, oh, that's too many. But I know.
Look, I'm still going to try and do it.
You lie awake as 3 a.m. rolls around and you just stare at the ceiling thinking, I could watch all 1,001.
Oh, yeah, I will try and do it. I think at my last count, I was at maybe like 200 and something.
Jesus, you've got a long way to go.
Exactly, you know? I ain't dying anytime soon.
No, cool. Good.
But yeah, so I was doing that. Halloween. We didn't really do anything on that the actual day.
Did you get any trick-or-treaters? Have you been... Is this the first Halloween you've had at the new house?
Yeah, and we didn't get a single trick-or-treater.
Oh, really?
Yep, not a one.
We didn't either. I saw a lot when I was walking home from work, but we didn't get any. Apparently, my mum has spoken to people in our street and said, like, I see them, so it's weird that we don't get any. And apparently they specifically go to houses that have decorations up, which is quite a good way of doing it.
I think there's that, and also, I think they only go to, like, friends' houses. Like, people
people
that
definitely
they
go
know.
to strangers.
Huh?
People definitely go to strangers' houses.
Maybe. I mean, I know when we lived in the old place, we had a year where we put decorations up. We did pumpkins and stuff.
Yeah.
We still only got, I think, a total of maybe 3.
Yeah, but that's because parents see you, Liam, and they're like, stay away from that house.
No, what happened is I made Kat answer the door because I did the first one, realised you had to interact with children, which is something that I hate doing, and then I was like, oh, this was a huge mistake. Kat, you have to answer the door now.
Oh, Liam.
I've just looked it up, and I've seen 209 of the 1,001 movies.
Yeah, that's not very good, mate.
17%-ish.
You need to get on that.
Well, this that I'm looking at. So they release this book each year, and they like swap like 5 to 10 each year. Like they'll take 5 to 10 out and put like some newer releases in.
That's a bit weird. How does that work?
So basically, someone's collated a list of all of the editions, which is a total of 1,199 films now.
Yeah, that's the list you got to do.
Yeah, so I've done 17% of that.
Fair enough.
So, you know.
Speed up.
Well, let's get through the 101 horror movies first.
All right, yeah, fair point.
So that was Halloween, which was just a real, like, no-show.
Yep.
Then it was Kat's birthday.
What did you do for Kat's birthday, Liam?
We went out with her family the night before to our local Chinese place, where we took you when you came to visit.
Yep.
Same waitress.
Yep.
Yeah, she's delightful. She was asking about you.
No, she wasn't.
You don't know that.
No, I do.
She went, where's your weird specky friend?
Specky?
Yeah.
The fuck does that mean?
Glasses.
Why would she say specky? It sounds racist.
I don't think she's racist, let's make that clear.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not accusing the waitress of being racist. It just sounds like a racial slur.
Yeah, no, she was like, where's your weird little friend? And we were like, oh, she's not with us. And she was like, she? And we were like, oh, listen to the new episode of Nerd on Nerd, everything will be explained.
New listener, great.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we went there. Oh, the food is just so good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, so we did that. And then on the actual birthday itself, Kat just sort of went into town with her mum. And then that night, we were going to go to the Mexican place, but Kat decided she just wanted to put her tracksuit on and not go out. So we ordered pizza and watched a couple of films.
Yeah, and then I assume you guys went to bed?
Full of pizza.
Hell yeah. The sexiest of foods.
We watched Creep 2.
The sexiest of films, I assume.
Well, you know how it has Mark Duplass in it?
Yeah.
There's a scene where he strips off and he's literally just stood in front of the camera naked for like a solid 20 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, so any listeners, and yourself, if you're wondering what Mark Duplass looks like naked, Creep 2 will answer that wondering.
Can you give me a out of 10, but about him being naked?
No?
No?
I don't even know how you would begin rating that.
Fair enough.
Like girth, size, length.
Well,
I
just
don't know.
in general, Liam.
Yeah,
in
general, hair. Like, is hairy nipples a good or bad thing? I don't know. I'm biased.
Are you biased to yes?
Yeah.
You love a bit of hair.
Well, I'm biased based on my own body type, so I would say that's good because I would hope that other people would think it's good.
Got you. I see what you're saying. Liam.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Kat was expecting to see Mark Duplass's penis on her birthday, but you never know. Birthdays are a time. Birthdays are a time for treats. That's what I did since we
Did you
spoke
get her
last.
anything, Liam? Did you get her anything nice?
Yeah. So, here's the thing, right? I got.
I know in the
her
past you've done quite extravagant presents.
nothing too extravagant.
I mean, didn't you pre-book the Harry Potter musical and do
Yeah,
a day of Harry
that
Potter?
was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
We did the
pretty-
Harry Potter day. That was really good. This year,
Yeah.
we're going skiing next year, so I got her like a nice ski jacket, and a couple of like little odds and ends.
Fair enough.
But we did a special on Won't Grow Up. Go look that up on YouTube, where we talk about birthdays. We were going to do. Someone requested that Kat does like a birthday haul, like what she got. But she felt uncomfortable. She felt that was too bragging. So
Yeah, I mean, calm down, Kat. I don't want to know.
exactly. So we just spoke about birthdays in general, like good birthday memories and that sort of thing. So go check
enough.
that out. Part of the not a network.
Yeah, not
No,
a network.
That's it. See, I'm good
We
at
are
this,
a network.
like this cross promotion plugging.
You're
all that
doing
sort of
really
stuff.
well, mate.
Yeah. Wait for Into the Asylum coming sometime.
Soon.
Well, let's not say that.
Well,
What have you been up to?
went to a wedding in Wales.
Oh yeah,
That was good.
I've never been to Wales. What's it like?
Well, my brother was disappointed because he said, you're going to Wales.
Yeah.
There were two things he wanted to see.
Dragons.
No, sheep
Oh okay.
and rain, because he was convinced that in Wales it always rains
That's
and
not true.
it's full of sheep. He fell asleep as we crossed into Wales and I saw a sheep. Then we went to this very nice sort of golf club place where the wedding was and the hotel people were staying in was.
There won't be sheep there.
No sheep on golf courses, so he was very
Isn't like
disappointed.
that just a stereotype?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Okay.
He just wanted to see some sheep. I mean, to be fair, I get it. You go to Wales and because it's a stereotype, you're like, oh, I'm going to see some sheep.
Yeah, I'd expect it from New Zealand, but not. I don't know. I don't associate Wales with sheep personally.
Oh no, well, I mean, Wales, I think, is quite famous for having sheep. I think they are a agricultural sort of country.
Okay.
I mean, we have quite a lot of sheep as well. That's not we have all that.
Yeah. I would expect to see like real difficult to pronounce place names.
Yes, that was literally the only difference because it's part of the UK.
Mm.
Obviously, Wales is part of our country.
Yeah.
So literally, the only difference you get is you go down to Wales and you see a couple of place signs that you're like, oh, that's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. And they have the accent, obviously.
Yeah, but even that, you get accents all over England.
That's true. I don't think maybe some of our worldwide global listeners would realise that.
I think they will. I think everywhere has accents, Liam.
Yeah, I know, but right. Look at like America. Each state almost has its own accent.
Action, yeah.
But we're smaller than most of their states.
Yeah,
and
but
we have,
I
like,
think
loads
we
of
probably
them.
just don't know. I think that there's probably different accents. There are different accents within the states. Think about like New York State, right? There's the New York accent, and then there's the Queen's accent.
Yeah,
Queens.
or like you've got the Valley Gal in California,
Yeah,
and then you've got like
New
the
Jersey.
surfer.
I'm sticking in New York. New Jersey's got its own accent.
Yeah,
Is that a
Boston.
different state? No, that's a different city. Yeah, Boston.
There we go. Yeah, New Jersey's a different state, you bell.
Sorry.
Anyway, accents. Moving on. So, what was the wedding like?
It was really good. But you know me.
Did
I
you
like a good
cry?
Wedding, Liam. No, I didn't.
Did you dance?
I did dance. There was lots of dancing.
How much?
A lot.
What sort of dancing did you do?
Wedding dancing.
What does that mean? Like,
You
describe
dance like
it.
you're at a wedding.
Describe it.
You do a dance.
Doesn't
There's
help.
lots of hand movements.
Do you dance by yourself or with people?
No, my dad loves dancing at weddings.
Okay.
He's not good at it particularly.
Yeah.
But he likes to do it, and he's first on the dance floor.
I can
last one
imagine
off.
that.
Yeah, he's full on. He just loves it. So I usually go and dance with him. Then other people join us.
Yeah.
Then because we usually get on there. Then there'll be pretty much everyone dancing.
Yeah.
And then throughout the night, people sort of drift away, and you get down to the last sort of resilient few, and that tends to be whatever group my dad has managed to summon to himself.
You know when you said he was first on the dance floor?
The bride and groom are first on the dance floor, yeah.
So he's just there he's like,
He just goes in the middle of those two, and he's like, watch me dance.
got you. Yeah.
No, he's third on the dance floor.
Okay. Because one of the few weddings I've been to that I really enjoyed, similar situation where basically I dragged Kat onto the dance floor and then just didn't leave.
Yeah, that's the fun part of weddings. Like,
Well,
I like the rest of it. It's all fine. This one wasn't even a religious one, which is also good
yeah.
because they're a lot quicker when they don't have the religious
the
bit.
best wedding I went to, right, You had the ceremony bit where it's like, I now pronounce you husband and wife, all that sort of stuff, and they did the vows. But then when they like went off to do the photos and stuff, they hired a magician for like the people that were just milling around waiting.
I think you mentioned this when I was talking about my cousin's wedding.
It was so good though. It was the highlight. That was the best part of it.
That shouldn't be the highlight.
It was the best part. He did like magic in front of my eyes.
You're such a child.
Yep. What else you been up to?
Just work, mate.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.